Hi, I'm Dr. Cher. I'm going to chat today about my last principle of the 5 that I talk about with reference to achieving what I call body freedom. If you haven't seen some of my previous videos, just quickly, body freedom is this idea of losing weight so that you have the body that you feel great in, for whatever that is for you. You feel free in, you feel like yourself. It's also having freedom in your mindset, meaning you are living a lifestyle that foundationally is healthy, but at the same time it allows for that flexibility in your body, in your mindset, so you don't feel like you have to live a life of being super rigid all the time, or a life of deprivation, because that is not sustainable. It also means that in your mindset you're not spending as much time thinking about your food, your diets, your exercise plan. It's just, you've got the routines, you know what you need to do, and it's second nature. So that frees up a lot of time that is spent worrying about these types of things for many people when they're caught in a struggle. And as well, freedom of mindset, meaning you're in the driver's seat. So it's not a question of something else taking over your mind. Next thing you know, you're eating your comfort food type foods and cravings, and can't seem to get a handle on your eating habits because another part takes over. So freedom of the mindset means you're in charge. Doesn't mean eating perfectly all the time, but fundamentally, if you want to eat well, you'll eat well. You know what you need to do. You don't need to give it a second thought. And if you wish to have indulgences, you can. You don't need to worry about it from it triggering cravings and just falling into old patterns, unhealthy patterns. So that's body freedom, is in the body mindset, and then ultimately freedom in the lifestyle. Having a lifestyle that's based on healthy principles, but at the same time, you can be relaxed about it. You know what you need to do. You can be flexible. You can have indulgences or recreational eating, or when you travel, when it's celebrations, you can have those extras, and you know what to do, right? In terms of maintaining your weight, or if you need to shed a bit. But again, it's not a big, daunting sort of project in your life. That's my definition of body freedom. So there's 5 principles that are involved in one needs to incorporate as part of their process of losing weight. So it sets them up to not just obviously lose weight, maybe hit a goal or size or something on the more physical realm, but it's also setting them up to achieve ultimately, as I said, body freedom. Freedom in your body, mind, and lifestyle. That's ultimately what we want. 5 principles. If you incorporate the 5 principles, that is going to set you up for that outcome. Certainly that's what I do when I'm working with people in terms of my approach for weight loss, which, yes, physically it's very good at getting the weight off, but it's encompassing all these principles so that people are truly set up to live a healthy lifestyle, be more relaxed with their body, with their food, and for once and for all put this kind of burden that's been on their shoulders for quite a while, the weight loss journey, put it behind them once and for all. So this is about principle number 5. And this last principle I call flexibility. It is, or you could think of it as being in the flow. It's getting to the point with your body, with your lifestyle, with your mindset, where you are in the flow, where you can be flexible. You can be flexible about your choices. You can be flexible about the food you're doing, your exercise plan, all of that. There's an ease to it. Flexible doesn't mean dramatic changes. It just means there's a flow. It's kind of like the dance. You've mastered the dance. You can have periods of time where you're, eating very well and doing all the good things that your body needs from a lifestyle standpoint, and you can kind of go off piece a bit. You can have indulgences. You can do recreational eating, as particularly when it's for enjoyable reasons. It's not that's mindless stress eating or something taking over. It's you consciously choosing to eat things that maybe are not the best from a health standpoint or from a weight management standpoint. But when you keep it in check, you've got the flow, right? You can do it, and you can just as easily not do it. And you're completely coming from a place of choice. And in order to achieve this last principle, and setting that as a principle that you want to achieve, as opposed to, yes, achieving weight loss, but still feeling like you can't trust your body. You eat one slice of bread, that's it. You're going to put on 5 pounds. You can't trust yourself behaviorally. You want to get to the point where you can trust your body, trust yourself, and then you're in the flow. Just like if you're learning how to play a sport or something, there's that period of time learning. how to do it. Like it's a skill set, tennis or something, you have to learn. It takes time, it takes focus. Then you get a handle on it, and then you just start doing more games. You learn to trust yourself. You can trust that you've got that backstroke, forehand, whatever it is. Then in stressful situations like a competition or a tournament, you've got it, but it takes time, and you almost have to experience these things at the various stages that you're at. Much like the weight loss journey, there's a period of time, there's different stages to it to ultimately get to the point where you can be flexible, and that's that final stage. So to do that, and again, if you haven't seen my other videos, you should go back and watch them, or so you can see the order. But fundamentally, to get to the point of that flexibility means having principle number one, the game plan for losing. And what is the game plan? Being able to transition into maintenance, being able to live a healthy lifestyle, maintain your weight, and having sort of that plan. What do you want your habits to be? How do you want to eat? What's going to work well for you in terms of your body and your lifestyle and your mindset? So you have a plan for those different stages. Likewise, the next principle is the why. So the why is their motivation. So there's the motivation to make healthy choices, stay on track while you're losing, but then as well, the motivation to basically eat well most of the time, take care of yourself, do your exercise, do the things that you need to do, so that as you are, quote, I'll say maintaining. This is the long-term lifestyle. This is what you want to be healthy long-term. It's not just about maintaining weight, but it's the long-term choices really you could do for the rest of your life. That's that. But what's going to motivate you to make those choices? It's not the excitement of the scale dropping. It's like you want to be able to you're making these choices because you are motivated to take care of yourself, and it allows you to live a life that you love and do the things that you love doing. The third principle is sustainable routines. Again, this applies when you're losing weight, having a method that's going to allow you that you can sustain for a long enough period of time to lose weight, but it's also going to allow you to transition into a more flexible way of eating, but there's still fundamentally sustainable routines as part of maintenance. I always say that's when you get to that 80-20. You've got the routines, they're sustainable, you enjoy it, you like how you're eating, you like your lifestyle, you feel good, you see the benefits, you're doing that 80% of the time. And yes, when you're maintaining, you can have that flexibility, that 20%, and where you have extras, larger portions, or those comfort foods, or you're traveling and you indulge and you have some extras. But when you get that balance right, 80-20, you're going to maintain. Now, life happens, sometimes hopefully for good reasons, with again, holidays, traveling, things like that, where maybe you do go over the 80-20 skews. Well, that comes into my fourth principle, which is the principle of doing a course correction. So this course correction, it applies when you're losing weight, because let's say you're on a path to losing weight and something happens, you go off. What's the course correction? How do you deal with that setback from a body standpoint, from a mindset standpoint? There's both here, mind and body, to turn it around so you can get back on track and lose. But as well, course correction applies when you're maintaining and as a long-term lifestyle. That when you have extras, you've been overindulging for a variety of reasons. Hopefully it's a very conscious, mindful choice out of pleasure. When you've been doing that, but you also have the strategies, what you need to do to turn it around. For your body to turn it around, and mindset, so you don't get on that slippery slope of the steady climb, because now those old habits are maybe starting to kind of creep in. So it's having all of those four principles, but applying all of them at the various stages as you're losing, transitioning to maintaining. Ultimately, when you incorporate all of those, that's what's going to lead to the fifth principle, which is you can be flexible. You don't need to be rigid. You can be flexible. When you overindulge, you know what you need to do. You've got your regular habits on a weekly basis. And flexibility is probably more the feeling that you can be more relaxed about it and you are more in the flow. And this comes down to just building the confidence in your body, the confidence in your behaviors when you're at these various stages, and maybe a little experimenting. One short story, I remember one patient I had, this is years ago, and she had lost weight in the past, but she was always like super rigid about it, and then would put weight on, because you can't stay in that state forever. And so for her, yes, she wanted to lose weight, but it was like she really wanted to be just more relaxed. Like she was quite hypervigilant about her food and supplements and everything she was doing. So as I worked with her and she, you know, she lost her weight, she reached her goal. And then I continued to work with her because there was still, she was still anxious about it. She just felt very uncomfortable loosening the reins for fear that history was going to repeat itself. So what she needed was support and strategies while she was in this particular phase of her journey, so she could learn how to loosen the reins. And she did a weekend trip. It was to Montreal, and she was so thrilled because she goes, oh my gosh, I was able to go. She goes, I was a little worried about some of the things I was doing, but saw that she came back. It was up a little bit because she did have extras, but by just getting back to her routines, it came down. So she learned, like, okay, I can trust myself, I can trust my body. So the next time she went away, she was much more relaxed about it. So it's a bit of a process to get to that point. But just even in your own mind, keeping that in your mind, ideally setting that as one of the principles that you do want to incorporate, because ultimately that makes all of this sustainable, it's healthy, you're in the flow, you've got a great relationship with your body, with your mindset, with food. And ultimately that's what people want. From my own experience, I've seen that, I've certainly experienced it in my own life. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to all these videos. If you've missed some of the other ones, you can go back, find them, watch all the other principles. And of course, if you are interested in learning more and you really like to embrace this idea of body freedom, not just doing another diet to maybe lose weight, maybe not, but then struggle to maintain it, please reach out to me. You can, there's various links on my social media, emails, website. You can book a quick call with me, an assessment call, and I can hear your story and we can see if what the approach I use and what I offer is right for you. That's the most important thing. Thank you.